The day the postal inspector showed up in our neighborhood was the day I realized just how far an HOA Karen could fall. I watched from my front porch as that white government SUV pulled up lights, flashing agents stepping out with clipboards, and right there standing frozen in her doorway was our president, Karen Whitmore, the same woman who once fined me for painting my mailbox too glossy. 3 weeks earlier, I thought I was the problem. Turned out I'd been living inside a federal case. It started like every other peaceful Tuesday morning in Willow Creek Estates, quiet lawns, sprinklers, ticking birds doing their thing. Then I found a letter taped to my mailbox. The envelope said, HOA Violations Department in Comic Sans, sealed with a sparkly grocery store sticker. I should have known right then something was off. Inside was a neatly printed notice accusing me of displaying an unapproved lawn ornament. The offender: my garden gnome, Steve. Apparently he was a threat to neighborhood harmony. At first I laughed. I thought maybe it was a prank. Then my neighbor, Mrs. Patterson, shuffled over, looking pale as chalk. She'd gotten one too. Hers claimed her fence violated architectural tone compliance. Another guy down the street, Tom, was fined for parking an unapproved vehicle. His unapproved vehicle happened to be his wife's Prius. By noon, the whole block was comparing letters, and every one of them was absurd. Someone even got cited for excessive children's laughter after 6 p.m. We started noticing weird details. The HOA seal looked different, cheaply printed, slightly crooked, and the return address pointed to a P.O. box we didn't even have. The panic spread fast. That night's HOA meeting looked like a courtroom reality show. People waved their fake fines like evidence. And there at the center of it all sat Karen, our self-appointed queen of suburbia, clutching her pearls. "Oh my, I have no idea how this could have happened," she said in her best church lady voice, pretending to be shocked. But I saw at her eye twitch the micro-smirk whenever someone mentioned the fake seal. She knew. She absolutely knew. Then old Mr. Thompson, a retired postal worker who barely spoke during meetings, stood up and dropped the bomb. "These envelopes," he said, tapping the table, "they've got real postal barcodes. Whoever sent them didn't just make fake letters, they used the U.S. mail to deliver fraud. You could feel the oxygen leave the room. People whispered mail fraud like it was a curse word. And that's when things stopped being HOA drama and turned into a full-blown legal thriller. Mr. Thompson made one phone call to an old buddy at the Postal Inspection Service named Rick. The next morning, a white SUV rolled in and out stepped Rick himself, sunglasses badge on the belt, calm as a detective in a movie. "Morning, folks," he said. "Heard you've got some interesting mail." He collected the letters one by one, treating them like crime scene evidence. Meanwhile, every curtain in Karen's house fluttered like a haunted movie set. Rick explained that sending fraudulent letters through U.S. mail was a federal offense, mail fraud, the kind that could land you in prison. The room went dead quiet. Then someone asked where the letters came from. Rick looked down at his clipboard. "There's a specific P.O. box linked to all of them," he said. "One registered to Karen L. Whitmore." The silence shattered. You could almost hear a collective gasp ripple through the neighborhood. Karen burst out of her house in designer shoes, shouting about misunderstandings and clerical errors. Rick didn't even flinch. "Ma'am, he said you might want to save that for your statement." That night the group chat exploded: memes, screenshots, jokes. Someone made a fake wanted poster. "Mail fraud. Karen, public enemy of suburbia." I wanted to laugh, but deep down I felt uneasy. What if we were wrong? What if this really was just a mix-up? For a moment I questioned myself. Maybe I'd let my frustration with HOA rules turn me cynical. Maybe Karen wasn't evil, just disorganized. But then the email came. Karen sent out an official clarification blaming a temporary administrative assistant for the letters. Problem was, our HOA didn't have any assistant. None. Not ever. That's when doubt turned into clarity. She was lying, and badly. Rick returned the next day with news the P.O. box paperwork listed Karen's home address, signature, and even her driver's license number. She'd practically signed her confession. The neighborhood went from angry to entertained. Mrs. Patterson started bringing popcorn to meetings. Mr. Thompson filmed everything like he was producing a Netflix docuseries. But the fun didn't last. When Rick asked to see the HOA's financial records, Karen's confident mask cracked. She stammered something about privacy and ongoing reconciliation. Rick just smiled. Since the mail was used to collect payments, any funds are part of the investigation. That's when it hit us. People had actually paid the fake fines. Out of fear, out of habit. The checks had been deposited into an account labeled HOA Compliance Office. Only, the account was in Karen's personal name. The air got heavy. You could hear the tick of the wall clock, the hum of the AC. Finally, someone whispered, "She's done." A couple days later, Rick came back this time with a warrant. The entire street gathered like it was a parade. Karen opened the door wearing oversized sunglasses and a silk robe, trying to look composed. Rick and 2 postal agents walked inside and started boxing up her files, computer, everything. No one said a word, but the energy was electric, like we were watching the Queen finally lose her crown. You'd think that would be the end of it, right? Nope. Karen wasn't the type to go quietly. Instead of hiring a lawyer, she went live on Facebook. It was Sunday morning. I was drinking coffee when my phone pinged. Karen Whitmore is live. Against my better judgment, I clicked. There she was, sitting on her porch, surrounded by fake plants, wearing a blazer like she was running for office. "Good morning, my fellow homeowners," she began, voice trembling dramatically. "These accusations are politically motivated and rooted in jealousy." The comments went wild. "Karen, no one's jealous of your yard flamingos." Another said, "Blink twice if the postal inspector is watching." She ignored them, waved around a printed piece of evidence, the same fake violation letter, and claimed she had emails proving the post office conspired against her. Rick showed up less than an hour later, sunglasses on, smirk barely contained. Her live stream had turned into a confession. She admitted to sending the letters to motivate compliance, acknowledged the fake seal, even bragged about saving funds by managing things personally. The next morning, poetic justice arrived in the form of a certified letter from the post office. Charges: mail fraud, misuse of funds, unauthorized collection under HOA authority. When investigators showed up to question her, she tried to delete her emails while they watched. One of them said, "Ma'am, we already have your cloud backup." That was it, the end of her reign. The HOA board held an emergency meeting that same week. Every hand in the room went up to vote her out unanimously. Even her so-called allies bailed faster than rats on a sinking yacht. Mrs. Patterson was appointed interim president and decided to turn our trauma into comedy. She called it Fraud-Free Friday. We grilled burgers, played music, and took turns reading Karen's fake violation letters out loud. My personal favorite mailbox flag raised outside of postal hours. I framed that one. It still hangs in my living room. A few weeks later, Rick returned one last time. She took a plea deal, he said. Probation, restitution, lifetime ban from any HOA position. The whole room clapped. Even the mail carrier honked as he drove by. Karen sold her house quietly soon after. No farewell, no speech about neighborhood values. Just gone. The new family moved in and never knew the chaos that happened there. And we didn't tell them. Some ghosts are better left buried under fresh paint and trimmed hedges. These days, our HOA meetings actually make sense. We talk about gardens, not gossip. The fines are real, the rules are fair. And every time I see the mail truck drive by, I can't help but smile a little. Because now we all know no one, not even the most power-drunk HOA Karen, can outsmart the United States Postal Service. Lesson learned. Never underestimate the mailman.